Hello everyone, I am your host Shamia Holloman and I am here with the cast and the screenwriter of The Good Lie. Margaret Nagel is the screenwriter, Kuth Well is also a new coming actress, and we have Arnold O. Chang, who is has a little bit experience already. So my first question is to the screenwriter, Ms. Margaret Nagel. Why was it so important for you to accurately tell this story about, Sudanese refugees?
Well, the idea was that these kids, it was about the biggest relocation program ever in the history of the United States. 3,600 kids were relocated, and they had lived through the civil war of Sudan and survived on their own as children, walking through the sub-Saharan desert, thousands of miles to Ethiopia, then back to Kenya, and then they lived in a refugee camp. So I felt that a tremendous responsibility because they're heroes, and their lives are remarkable, and what their people have gone through is remarkable. So we had to get this movie made.
Okay, and to Kuth Well, you're a new coming actress, you're from Sudan actually, and you were actually born in a refugee camp. Can you tell me that experience as a child?
I mean, it's definitely a traumatic experience to be displaced as a child. I was born in Ethiopia in a refugee camp, and my parents were aid workers for the UN. So very often we moved, walked from one country to the other. And yeah, I mean, as a child, you don't really think of it as being a negative as when you're an adult and you have the responsibility to take care of these children. But I knew that I wasn't home. I knew that home was far away. And so when we immigrated to the US, that was the first time in my life that I felt that we were actually safe and we didn't have to worry about moving around that much.
Okay, my next question is, this is like your first feature film. Have you had any previous acting experience?
Not really. I mean, I did modeling, so I just did commercial acting. When I was younger, I did plays in school, but no previous, serious movie acting.
She
no.
kills it in the film.
How did your audition go?
It was very spontaneous, actually, because I auditioned through, just sent in a tape of myself. I heard about the casting through Facebook. And so I didn't hear anything for about a month, and then they contacted me, and after that, everything just went so fast.
Oh wow, that's great. And Arnold O. Chang, you actually had some previous acting experience, but this is your first big American film.
Yeah.
How was that for you?
Dream come true. I know it sounds corny, but I've said it a couple of times. But yeah, I've been acting for such a long time. I've never had a normal job. I started when I was 6, and I was a child star on a popular British children's show on BBC. So this is all I've ever known and all I've ever wanted to do, So this is an amazing opportunity for me and an amazing debut for me for the American public.
Oh, that's great. Okay, my question to Ms. Nagel is, what attracted you to these characters and to portray their true life events?
Well, what happened was I studied South Sudan and all the stories of lost boys and girls that came over, and I did a vast amount of research, and then I created these characters to they were sort of emblematic of the boys and girls who had came over, and used elements of all the stories that I read in all the newspapers and books to sort of create this particular family. And I love the idea of two brothers and their devotion to one another and the sacrifice. There's a lot of an element of sacrifice that they make for one another that I put into the story. And also I love the idea of coming in and adjusting and seeing the United States through their eyes. Right. What does our country look like to an immigrant? What is it like to be an outsider in our country? And then I really loved writing the characters that Reese Witherspoon and Corey Stoll play, who meet them for the first time and, are completely turned around by their experience of learning their story.
Great. Oh, how was it working with, a veteran like Reese Witherspoon?
It was amazing. I think I speak for both of us when we first heard that we'd be starring alongside Reese. We were both initially nervous. She is a A-lister and an Oscar winner, Yeah. But we also knew the high stakes, so we knew the importance of the film, the importance of our people's history. So we knew if we're on, you know, if we're starring alongside Reese, we have to bring our A game, you know.
Yeah, right.
And hopefully, when people see the film, hopefully we did, you know. So no, it was amazing to work with her. She's so humbling. She brings a different energy to the film as well. You know, the point of view from an American's eye of how she looks on us immigrants, and how she, you know, as the film moves along, it's, you know, she starts as a character who doesn't really care about anyone else but herself, you know. But as the film goes on and the film matures, she starts growing this maternal instinct, and she starts, you know, liking us and starts loving us, you know. And I think that's a beautiful thing when it comes to, you know, human traits.
Right.
So that's one of the elements I hope people can relate to when they watch the film.
I hope so too.
Yes.
How about you? How was your
I mean-
experience?
I mean, for me, I just basically, you know, I've learned from everyone, and from her, Corey, Sarah, Arnold's, and everyone else. It's just, it was such a, I guess it was, for me, it was a humbling experience, but it's putting things into perspective, you know. Like, I felt like throughout the process of filming, you know, I felt, even though Reese's character is, you know, she gets into, like, learns these characters' relations, they have relationships and stuff like that. But I felt that even her personally, she gained a more concern for the topic itself about Sudan and the refugees that are in Kenya.
Great. So my question to both of you also, you play Mimir and you play Abital. So what was your favorite, like, what was
Favorite scene?
yeah, like favorite scene? What did you like about your characters?
I don't know, sis. What do you think, sis?
How did you get in the role for your characters? Like,
How did we get into the role?
yeah, like how did you just grasp it? Like,
For me, if I'm to be honest, it was difficult, but I loved it because this is a role. I've in London, I mean, I've done other films, but I've played very sort of stereotypical roles for a black actor, you know. And this was a role that once I, you know, was told I had the part, I was just overjoyed because, you know, as an actor, you want a role that is, you know, far from from who you are, so that you can be able to be a chameleon and show that you can play certain, you know, play different roles. And I love this because I had to, you know, I had to lose weight. I had a nutritionist. They gave me a trainer, so we'd go in, but we wasn't like building muscles.
Right.
I had to do loads of cardio
Okay.
to lose weight. And then, you know, I had a dialect coach, you know, I learned some of the language, Dinka.
so it's
you
out of
know.
your comfort zone a little bit.
You know what? It was out of my comfort zone, but why I loved it as well, because I was learning about my culture, which
Right.
I had missed out on a whole big part of my life being in London. You know, my father's culture, because my father's from South Sudan, but he passed away when I was 2. So this was like a journey for me coming back home and learning about my culture. I mean, yeah, losing weight was, you know, I didn't want to do that, but, you know.
Of
it's
course not.
Exactly, you know, but apart from that, I was learning about my people, and I loved that.
That's great. How about you?
I mean, for me, I felt that my character, she was so, I wouldn't say she's different from me, because I feel like our stories kind of parallel each other. But I knew a lot of women who went through the same experiences that she did, being a lost girl at such a young age and being orphaned at such a young age. And she was totally, I felt that she, at times, I had to take myself out of the context, because it's so much of me is overpowering the character. But it was a fun journey to explore, you know, and just first time acting and just seeing what, you know, how much you can do and what your limits are.
That's great.
Ooh. You're asking our favorite scene.
Favorite scene would probably
you're right.
My favorite scene is probably Christmas, but the most fun scene I think was when we were in Africa and we found out that we were coming to America.
Oh yeah. That scene was emotional.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And Miss Nagel, is there anything in the future you're working on for both of you two?
I have a movie project that's supposed to shoot in the spring called The Gory Girls, which is about, it's based on a Texas Monthly article, and it's about the first all-female country western band ever. And they were formed in prison in Texas in the Depression. And there was a radio show where the governor of Texas would pardon you if he liked your singing. So they taught themselves to sing and play instruments, and they sang on the radio and were basically singing for their lives. So it's we've just hired a director, and it's out to, we're just about to sign the actress and can't say who it
Dude,
is.
she's a
but-
powerhouse. She doesn't stop.
So I seem to like the difficult subject matter, but you know, it's worth it at the end of the day. And I hope that, you know, people will go to see this film and, you know, you laugh, you cry. It's a real journey.
It sounds
and-
inspiring. So we actually have to wrap it up, but I'm so glad you guys came here. I'm so honored, and it was so nice meeting you.
You too,
And I
thank
will
you.
definitely hope everyone goes out to see the movie. I will be telling my friends, and it actually has a limited release right now.
It's going to be October 3rd in Atlanta. We've got it on a lot of screens in
Okay.
Atlanta, and it goes even wider October 24th. But tweet, so you know, Facebook, everything you can to support the
Use
film.
your social media.
Use your social media, please.
Hashtag the
Okay,
good life.
Hashtag the
The
good
good
life.
life.
Thank you for tuning in to Behind the Lens. Again, I'm your host, Shamia Holloman, and it was great being with the cast of The Good Life. I hope you guys do great in your endeavors.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everyone.
This is called ice. This is what winter in America feels like.
Our names are on that list.
Yes, hello, this is Carrie. Pick up who? I'm just supposed to help them find jobs.
You must be the guys from Somalia, Senegal.
Sudan.
Did your luggage come down the chute? Great.
Where is your husband?
No, I'm not married. I provide for myself.
Your survival skills are very impressive.
Thanks. I'll call you tomorrow morning and we'll start the job hunt. I need your help.
Are there any dangerous animals in this area?
Such as?
Lions.
No, there's no lions here. You're safe. What's their story, anyway?
I'm not sure. They seem pretty traumatized.
Made my way to the borderline.
I had 34 brothers and sisters, and they all died but one.
And she need to be here with us.
You don't have an appointment.
Who do I have to screw around here to see an immigration supervisor?
Me.
Thanks, Cupcake.
That's gonna be a problem. All flights from the Kakuma refugee camp have been stopped.
Since 9/11, the program here is stopped indefinitely.
She's a child refugee of war.
You sure you're ready to take this on?
Definitely.
I'll find a way.
You're being asked to make choices no one should have to make.
I don't think they're gonna make it if they're not together.
I will pray for you, ERD.
ERD?
It is a special name for you. It means great white cow.
Well, it's better than a lot of things I've been called.
Holy crap! You can't just break into somebody's house!
There is a reason you do not have a husband.
Okay, thank you so much.